A very good evening. My name is Alok and I welcome you once again to Network Nuts YouTube channel. So it's one of the rarest days that I am recording the video at around 6 o'clock in the evening. So what's in this video? I've got a very interesting and a slightly more deeper topic for the day. The topic is, let's understand the Apache start and stop signals. For this, I will use my skill that I had learned in the last video, opening the gedit to jot down the notes for you so that it will be easier for you to understand. So let me just check the font if it is perfect or not. I use the 12. Let's understand Apache start and stop signals behavior. Look, normally what you do whenever you have a Apache server running, like suppose I have here, it's a very interesting one. You need to give more focus here. On my server I have a simple Apache service running here. I do a service Apache restart. It is what we generally do. After doing any configuration, we just do a restart of the service, and if we are configuring Apache for the first time, we generally use service httpd start or stop, and for stopping it I can use stop. Fair enough. So how it works, and do we have any better options apart from restart, stop and start? So it is what I intend to share with you. So first thing first is that whenever you do some configuration, like suppose point number 1 to understand is that whenever you do some configuration in your httpd.conf file, so you need to restart the service. You need to restart the service for the changes to take effect. I hope you will agree. Means suppose I had done some changes in my conf file, Apache your httpd.conf file. So I need to restart the service. That means either I need to give service httpd restart, or I can use the script directly etc init.d httpd restart. It is how we are accustomed of applying the new configuration in the Apache. But how it works internally, let's try to understand this. What happens when I restart the service using either the service command or by using the script, and do we have a better way out? So like suppose my Apache is running here, service httpd restart. I restart it. So whenever Apache starts or whenever any service start, here I am focusing on Apache. So a parent process automatically starts. You know that for every service you've got a process. So I can check it out at that PID of httpd. Oh, but it is giving me a lot of processes or the process ID for httpd. But if you remember, I had just started one service, a single service. So how come it has started n number of or a lot of services or the PIDs here for Apache? Actually what happens, Apache creates child processes as it works on the behavior. The Apache implements a MPM scheme, that is multi-processing module. So what it does, it is a multi-process and a multi-threading server. So whenever you start Apache, just understand this. So what happens whenever you start Apache, the parent process start, and it also starts many child processes. or the processes. So it is what I'm getting in my PID of httpd command, but I want to know the name of the parent process. So it is very simple. I can issue a very simple command, service httpd status. That will give me the PID of the parent process 27608. 27608. Generally, or 99% or whatever, like as far as my experience goes, the parent process is always showed in the last. There is one more command there. You can do a var run httpd and httpd.pid. So these are the two commands that will give you the ID, the PID of the parent process. I am explaining this because it is very important for you to understand the relationship between the parent process, which is in my case is 27608, and the child process, and how the command behaves when you restart or start. So I can find out the status of the Apache by the service httpd status or cat. So I can write it here so that you can find out the PID of parent Apache process by using either I can use service httpd status, or I can use a cat var run httpd and httpd.pid. It is what I had just shown you here. So means 27608 is the parent process. So now we'll be coming on to the major topics. So it is how I just explain you that whenever you start Apache parent process start, and then the parent should the process starts many child processes depending upon the load and the requirement of the servers. So what happen when you give a service httpd restart command? What happens? A service httpd restart command, this command, or you give this command service httpd restart, it will just restart the parent process without waiting for the child processes to finish gracefully. It is as good as switching off the main MCB of the room, rather than, or it is like this, that instead of gracefully shutting down your PC or your Linux server by using like halt command or like init 0, you are directly shutting down the machine using the power switch, something like that. Not exactly, but something like that. So what it does, so whenever we give service httpd restart command or etc init.d httpd restart, what it does, it simply kill the parent process. It simply kill the, or kill or restart the parent process taking off all the child processes. And when it starts again, after starting again, a new parent PID is allotted along with new PIDs for child processes. Fine. So I'll just show you. I just restart it. I check the status, service httpd status. So current the parent PID is 27694. I restart it again. I got a different PID and different child IDs also, PID of httpd, and I restart it, and then again I give PID of I'll do it again. I show you the PID of httpd. I restart the server and I give a PID of httpd. So entirely new set of PIDs are allotted for the parent process as well as for the child processes, and it kills the parent process, taking off all the child process immediately. It is how the restart works. Okay, it is a fine method, a good method, but a more graceful methods or more say gentleman kind of commands or more decent options are available to us. So for that we need to understand different signals, start or stop signals, that can be passed to the parent process. I'll show you. And okay, and remember one thing, whenever you do a restart or a start, the logs are stored in, I can show you the logs, cat var log httpd and error.logs. See here, shutting down. If you can see there, shutting down is coming up here, but it is signal term for httpd, signal term for httpd, but I had issued the command restart. Then what is the term? What is signal term? So it is what I intend to share with you. What are the different types of signals that can be passed to the parent, and how gracefully or how different they are from each other. So now we had learned about that whenever you start a Apache process, it starts many child processes. The child processes are automatically being created. I'm not going on into that topic, how to control and manage those child processes. But the point is that whenever you start or give a restart command, it just stop or restart the parent process, and the parent process will automatically take off all the child process immediately. It doesn't matter whether the child process was catering to some request. It will just kill off all the child process. A good way, but not a decent way. Now let's understand the various or different type of signals that can be passed to the parent Apache process. You need to remember one thing, that you should always pass the signal to the parent, never to the child process. Fine, that's fine, fair enough. So I've got 4 types of signals that can be passed. There are 4 types of signals that can be passed to Apache. The number 1 is your term signal. What does that mean? I'll just make it here. There are 4 types of signal. That makes more sense. 4 types of signal. Yeah. Number 1 is the term signal. We call it signal term. That actually means terminate. I can refer it with terminate, not the Terminator as Arnold Schwarzenegger. What it does actually, simple, as the name says, terminate. It simply kill off all. When the parent get this signal, it kill off all the child processes immediately. So if the load on the server is heavy, it can take time, as the parent is first killing off all the child processes. It can take time, and then the parent exit, the parent process exit. Afterwards, no request is scattered. Why? Because you have just stopped the service. Scattered. And one more thing I'd like to share with you, that instead of passing these commands directly with the binary, it is always recommended that you should use the Apache CTL control script. Means there are two ways in which I can use this. One way is that I can give this command kill -term and the PID of Apache parent. You can just make it more easy for you to understand, like this. Or I can give, but it is not recommended. The recommended method is that you use Apache CTL control script, Apache CTL -k, and then say stop. Stop is for the signal term. I'll show you both options. So I came back here, I checked the PID of my Apache parent process, cat var run httpd.pid. I can give this command kill -term 27760. Job is done. And if I show you service httpd status, it's dead, it's not working. And if I show you the var log httpd and error.log, you can see there signal term, and it is the current time. I need to, I think, move down a bit. That is it. Caught signal term, shutting down. So the term signal has just, and even if I show you one more, I just started again, service httpd restart, I started again, and even if you give, you can use the binary also, restart, say stop, and if I show you the log again it gives me the same signal term. The time is different. Earlier it was at 1805, now it is at 1806. So in both the cases the term signal was given, and what happened, it just killed the parent immediately kill all of the child, no matter whether the child was processing any request or anything. So it can take some time, but you can use this. So recommended is use the Apache CTL script. I can write it here. Recommended to use CTL control script like this. So this is the first signal, the term signal, and how what kind of instruction it pass on to the parent. I hope that was clear. The second signal is the signal, we call it USR1, or I call it graceful. What it does, so whenever the parent Apache process get this signal, what it does, parent tell all the parent instruct or tell, I can write here, instruct all the child process to exit when only after their current request. Requests. Once the child has scattered all their current requests, they are instructed to exit, means shut down. Then the parent again the parent process again reads the configuration file, again reload or rereads, whatever. Configuration file, that means etc. I hope all of you knows httpd conf httpd.conf, and reopen the logs. Got it? So as each child process dies or exit, the parent also replace it with a new configuration. The parent then replace it with new configs. So you can give the command here for this, say Apache CTL -k graceful. One of the major benefit of using the graceful command is that in case something is wrong with your configuration and you restart the service, the whole system get down. In case of graceful, it will not shut down the whole server. I'll show you. So what it does, let me check. I'll show you. So here I am. I give the command service httpd status. It is stopped, so I do a restart here once again, and I do a PID of httpd, and I want to check the parent process PID, which is, my experience says, will be the last one, but let's get reconfirm where run httpd.pid. That is fine. Now I give the command Apache CTL -k graceful, and if I give the same command PID of again, look, the parent process is same. I'll just var log httpd and error.log. See here, graceful restart requested, doing a restart, and it is done. Why? Because all the configuration in the file were perfect. There was no syntax error in this case. So it has a graceful restart. Graceful restart means first all the PIDs were restarted like this. I do a graceful once again, and I PID of this. You can see there the child processes PIDs have changed. It is the master has instructed the parent has instructed all the child to exit gracefully after completing their job, and then it reloads the configuration from the httpd.conf file and reopen all the child process. That is fine. Other way is, and the third signal that Apache uses that is of hub. We call it hub, or you can call it a restart. How it is different? The different it is that whenever, how it works. So whenever the parent Apache process get this signal, what it does, it kill off all the child process, something like your term signal. But here the difference is that but the parent doesn't exit. The parent process will be there, it won't exit. It then rereads the config file and reopen log files and other things, and then it spawns a new set of child process. It then spawn a new set of child processes and start serving, obviously, and start catering. Let me show you. So here I've got the PID of this. So I give a command Apache CTL -k restart, and if I show you the PID of again, the parent process is still same, but the child processes PIDs have changed, and these are all Apache PIDs. How can I confirm? If you have seen the last tip I think I had shared on the Facebook, that all these are processed, so I can easily give proc and the number, say the first one 27933, and in this I give the command command line. So it is clearly showing me that this process command line, or the binary that is responsible for creating the process, is USR Admin Apache. So I mean this process is related or attached with the Apache, and it is a child process. So in this manner it restarted, and if I see the log, let's see what happened in the log. Var log httpd error.log. sig hub received means a restart is received, attempting to restart, and then it started again. So when you do a Apache ctl-k restart, it sends a hub signal. When you do a graceful, it sends a different signal, and when you do a stop, it sends a terminate signal. That is fine. And the last signal, as far as the Apache parent process is concerned, is that we call it signal excuse me, winch or winch. That means graceful stop. Now what happens, how the Apache behaves when I throw this signal to the Apache? So whenever the parent Apache process get this signal, the parent tell the child processes to exit after their current request. It is as good as your graceful, but there is a small difference. The difference is stop. Current request, that is fine. Now what happened? The parent is not going to start it again because you had specified stop. What the parent does is that once the childs are gracefully exit, parent will then remove its PID excuse me, PID file, and stop listening on any interface. That in plain English means that Apache is stopped, but gracefully. So let's see. So I can, here I forget to mention, sorry, you can give the command Apache ctl-k restart. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. And here for this signal you can give the command Apache ctl-k graceful stop. That's it. So let me show you. Right now, if I check the status, service httpd status, it is running, and couple of PIDs are also running for the Apache. Now I give the command, I can issue a command service httpd stop, but you know what it does? It just stops the parent, and parent immediately stops all the child. But I want a graceful stop. So I give the command Apache ctl-k graceful stop. What it does now? Now Apache is stopped, it is dead, and if I show you the log, caught signal winch shutting down gracefully. Makes more sense, makes more seems more educated and a more, you can say, a gentleman kind of behavior. So these things, being a server admin, you need to understand the difference in between like using the service httpd restart command, stop command, what it does in the backend, and what kind of signals they actually throw, and what are the other more graceful methods of doing the same job again. And one of the say major benefit of using the restart is that in case you have done any changes, you need not to stop the servers. You know what the restart does? it stopped the process, it stopped the child. But it won't here I'd explained you, but the parent don't exit, so the process will not stop. So I hope you understand all these kinds of signals, the term signal, the USR or the graceful signal, the hop signal, and the graceful stop signals. So it is a very interesting video as far as understanding the insides of Apache signals are concerned, and I'm like looking forward for your comments, your feedbacks. Thank you very much. God bless. Take care. See you again soon. Bye. I'm stopping the video now.